Hey guys, I'm Ivory and today I will be doing a full face of e.l.f. makeup. Some of these products I've had for a while, so I know how I feel about them. Some of them I'm trying for the first time, and some of them I've tried before, but not for a very long time. That's just to say, we got a lot going on here. And I also wanted to add a lot of these products I already had and bought myself. And some of these products were sent to me by e.l.f. and Magic Links. So I just want to go ahead and say thank you to them for sending me a bunch of their products. But I do want to make it clear that this video is not sponsored in any way. But I just wanted to show my gratitude because, you know, it's not every day that you get sent makeup, let alone from a brand that I actually really enjoy. And before I begin, I have a side note. If you don't care about this part and you just want to watch me play with makeup, I will have a timestamp that you can skip right on to. In my, not my last video, but the video before that, when I was updating you about what was going on in my life, at the very end, I said that unless something else happened in my life, videos would be going up as normal, at least once a week, maybe twice a week. And that is if nothing else changed. Well, if you haven't read my community tab, I got a new job and I'm very excited about it. And it is full-time, so you know, I'm getting those benefits, that 401k and PTO. But because I have a full-time job now, YouTube does have to go a little bit on the back burner for obvious reasons. So I just really wanted to update you about that. I'm not planning on quitting YouTube, but I don't know my schedule anymore because I'm getting used to everything, you know, having an 8 to 4 job. My commute right now isn't that great, but me and Steve, we are in the works right now. Our new house is getting built. And when we move to that house, my commute will be so much better. I'm talking like 15-20 minutes. So that will be much more doable. So I cannot wait. Our house is supposed to be done in March, April. So, you know, oh my God, that's so far away. So right now I'm just juggling so many things. I mean, we got work, YouTube, my marriage, maintaining friendships, eating right, getting enough sleep, flossing. I just don't understand how people do stuff after work. Like they have the energy to do it. It just, I don't understand. I think when all the dust settles, because I've only been working full time for about a week now and things normalize, I'll get the hang of it and I'll slowly be able to incorporate more into my life and balance it all. But right now it's a shit show. So please bear with me. All right, so I'm actually gonna start off with skincare. This is the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Face Cream with SPF 30, and this has hyaluronic acid and peptide complex. I wear SPF every day, even in the winter, even if I'm not leaving the house. As soon as I finish washing my face, I always put on a moisturizer with SPF in it, unless it's at night, then I just use a regular moisturizer. From what I can tell, I don't think it has a smell. And then I'm gonna add a thin layer. It is a little bit of a thicker formula, so I don't know what your preferences are, but I'm just kind of like stating what I'm feeling. But that blended out really nicely, and there's no white cast. Thank God. Because this is a little bit of a thicker formula, I'm gonna let this soak into my skin for a little bit. Let's move on to the eyes. I'm gonna use the bite-sized eyeshadows. I have a bunch of these. I have it's the green one, the jalapeno one, and I also have this one. This one is called Berry Bad. I think that these are so good, especially for the price. I also got this one, Truffles, which is just, you know, your classic nudes. I just love how idiot-proof these are. I've tried a bunch of these, so I can already tell you that I really like them, but I haven't tried this one yet. So this will be my first time trying this one at least. So I'm gonna go into the first shade. It's kind of like a blue periwinkle, and that's gonna be my base color. Man, I have not done a tutorial in such a long time, or just a video in general, so I feel very rusty right now. And then I'll take a Morphe M330. I'm gonna go into the darkest shade, and I'm gonna use that to deepen my outer. Okay, that's quite deep. I was hoping to build up to that, but we're just starting right out the gate with it. Okay. I haven't done color in such a long time, and it shows because when I go to work and I do wear a full face of makeup, I usually will just put bronzer as my eyeshadow and then call it a day. Because I'm the type of person where I will spend less time on makeup if that means I get to sleep a little bit more. I've always been like that, even when I was a kid. Even when I was in college, I would skip breakfast, and I know people say not to do that, just so that I could sleep more, and then I would go straight to the train. And then I think that's a reason why I don't eat breakfast at all anymore, because all my life I cared more about sleeping as much as possible, that I would sacrifice breakfast and then wake up and just go to wherever I had to go. So that's why my makeup is always really simple when I go to work. Let me know if you want to see a tutorial, because I would be totally fine filming how I do my makeup for work. Like I would actually wake up and film it so you guys could see it in action. That might be helpful for some people, or some people just really want to see it. So let me know your thoughts on that. Okay, so before you know it, this just got real smoky real fast. Story of my life. I'm gonna go ahead and use my finger into this shade. They're not named or anything, and I'm just gonna put that on the lid. Good thing I did my eyes first. This is getting real messy. I also got from them the liquid glitter eyeshadows. This is in the shade Disco Queen. I've never tried any of their liquid shadows, but I think that this shade will go really well with this color story. Ooh, yeah, that's super fun. I don't know if you can tell. It's also holographic. I'm just gonna add a little bit and then dab it on top, because I don't want to undo or like completely cover up the shimmer shade that I have down. I kind of just want to make it a topper. I'm really liking that, and it's already dried down, doesn't feel sticky at all. I'm liking these so far. I'm gonna move away from the eyes right now. I think that everything worked out really nicely. It just looks shitty because I did it. So that's the end of the sentence. I'm gonna move on to my base. I might go back to my eyes. You know, sometimes you gotta walk away from what you're working on and then come back to see, you know, a different perspective. So I wanna see more of the face being done before I decide to do anything more with my eyes. But I'm next gonna try the Acne Fighting Putty Primer. This has 1.8 salicylic acid, helps prevent the development of new acne while reducing the appearance of pores and redness due to acne for a clear and poreless complexion. I do really like their original poreless putty primer, and I know a lot of you guys have been asking me to review this. The thing is, and you can already see it from my face, I don't have a lot of acne anymore. So when I got this, I originally wanted to do a dedicated video to show you if this helped with acne, but at this point my acne is in such a good place because I don't break out anymore. All of this is old acne, it's just red, but my face is very smooth now. If you haven't watched my last video, I explained that I am on an antibiotic, and that has helped clear my acne tremendously. My dermatologist prescribed it to me. It's called Back Trim, and within the first week I already saw progress. So I feel like reviewing this primer would be kind of hard. It would be like, is my acne better because of this, or is it because of my acne medication? You know what I mean? But I will say that this feels just like my original poreless putty primer, and I was curious about whether it would be green like this, and you can see completely clear. I'm gonna move on to foundation. I'm using the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. I did do a 2-day wear test on this already. I will link it up in the cards. And I bought this when it first came out. I don't really remember why this didn't work for me, but I just remember that it didn't. But from the other reviews that I had watched, it seems like I was the odd man out because everyone and their mother loved this. They said it was a dupe for the IT Cosmetics CC Cream, and it has so many benefits because it does have, you know, collagen, peptides, niacinamide, SPF 30. Like, all of those buzzwords are right up my alley. And I just remember that I know it didn't wear well on me, but just like any product, just because it doesn't work well for me doesn't mean it won't work well for you. And seeing that a lot of people did like this foundation, maybe I'm just the weird one. I would like to try this again, especially since my skin is so much better, because from what I can see right now in the viewfinder, I like the way this looks. So I'm gonna guess, I didn't watch my review again before filming this. I'm gonna guess that I like the way it looks initially, but it doesn't wear well over time on me. But I think, you know, enough time has passed. It's been about a year. Maybe this time things will be different. I've changed. People change. And maybe, you know, we can try again. For concealer, I'm going in with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Okay, so like everything in life, I have a really long-winded story. So this one is the original, and I really do like this one. This one is in medium sand. I will swatch it really quickly for you. And I just felt like this was a little bit too light, so I thought I would go the next shade up, which was medium beige, and unfortunately the shade difference is so much of a jump that the second one is my foundation shade. So I saw the hydrating one with this shade, but I assumed because they're both e.l.f. that shade would be too light for me. But I don't know, maybe it's different. Like the original medium sand doesn't exactly correlate with the hydrating one, which would be super confusing. I don't know where I'm going with this. I spent all that time just to explain that I fucked up and I got way too dark of a shade. So if you want to have some brightening of your under eyes and you are my shade, I would get medium sand because medium beige is just, it's too dark. This is a great, you know, like touch-up shade, but it won't brighten. But I am gonna use the original because I do want some brightening action here. And like I said, I do really like this formula. The one thing that I have a small gripe is that you have to work fast with this concealer because sometimes I'll be blending and it's already dried out. And because this is such a stark difference, it just won't look like a nice transition from concealer to foundation. You know what I mean? It just looks a little bit unblended, but it's already dried down, so I can't blend it anymore. Whereas this one is just as good as the original, but I have a little bit more time to maneuver the concealer. So if you are interested in either of them, just know that if you use the original, I would blend in sections, like literally put one under eye first and then start blending and then move to the next section and then start blending. However, unless you move really fast, then just, I guess you don't have to worry about that. But if you're like me, where you're just yapping away, or, you know, when I do my makeup, I'm often watching Netflix, so I pause all the time and I don't realize I pause. I'm just like really invested on my phone about what I'm watching, and then by the time I go back to blend it, I am unable to. So if I had to choose between the two concealers, I think I like the hydrating one a little bit more just because I have a little bit more time to blend. But this one, like I said, it's really good. You cannot go wrong with either of these. I'm next going to set my concealer. I'm using the matte setting powder in the shade medium, and I am only setting the areas that have concealer. Okay, that feels really nice. Very luxe. All right, next I'm gonna bronze. I'm using the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer in the shade Forever Sunkissed. I also have their e.l.f. Why do I keep saying e.l.f.? You know this is e.l.f. It's a full face of e.l.f. You read the title, you're here. I do have a dedicated video where I compared the Putty Bronzer with the ColourPop, well not ColourPop, the Soul Face and Body Bronzing Balm. So I had them both on either side and then I did a wear test. So I will link that up in the cards if you're interested. But because I have tried the Putty Bronzer, I'm gonna go ahead and use this one because I have not ever tried this one yet. Oh yeah, that's a nice color. This is a win. I also have, where is it? Their primer infused blushes. I love this. I love their brushes. No, I do love their brushes actually, but I love their blushes is what I meant to say. This is a really nice color for me though, because I like a warm bronzer. I don't like a cool toned one. If you've been here for a while, you know that my favorite bronzer up to date is the Morphe Mini Bronzer in the shade Debutante. So I was using that every day that I was going to work. I hit pan and then you know how when you hit pan, you usually start in the middle and then the outside still has the powder? Well, it was starting to crack. It was cracking into these like small little chunks. So I went over my trash can like this, trying to get rid of the little chunks that were in the pan. All the powder went into the trash can. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm done using this bronzer forever. Needless to say, I was very sad about that, but I really do like the shade. I think that this is a really good contender for that one. So off camera, I went ahead and used this palette again to do my under eyes. I really just mixed these two together and just quickly smoked it underneath. For blush, I'm gonna use the primer infused blush in the shade Always Rosy. I do have a dedicated video, this versus the putty blush. So I will link that above. I was gonna use this, but then I realized I set my under eyes and sometimes, even though I really like this, I'll spoil this right now. I do really like both of these products actually, but with this one you kind of don't want to have any type of powder set first. You want to do all your creams and liquids first because sometimes when the blush hits certain areas that have powder, it looks a little odd. So I think because I did set, it's a little too late and I don't want to chance it. So just know that I really like this, but it's too late. No, it's too risky to add this. So I'm gonna go with a sure thing here. I'm just gonna quickly add that to my cheeks. For highlighter, I'm using the Jelly highlighter. I'm really excited about this because if you see it, can you see it move? It looks just like the Farsali putty highlighter. It moves just like that. Not that I ever owned it because it was hella expensive, but from what I saw in videos, it looks just like it. I just got a little bit on my finger. Oh my goodness. Wow. A little strong for my taste, so we're gonna go real easy with this. I added as little as possible. I do see it on the viewfinder, so I assume that you guys can see it as well. The shade I use, by the way, is Cloud. All of the products and their shade names will be listed in my description box below, so don't worry, I got you. So if you are looking for a blinding highlight, here you go. This is me toning it down, okay? They really delivered with this product. If you are looking for something a little bit more subtle, I really enjoy the baked ones. I think Moonstone, that is my favorite highlighter of all time, and the fact that it is so freaking cheap just makes it even better. The color of it and just how it lays on my skin, it's just perfect. So thank you, e.l.f. for making my favorite highlighter of all time. I'm gonna move on to brows. I'm gonna use the Bite Size Brow Palette, and I've tried this sort of, you can see one of them I dipped into. This is in the shade Dark Brown. I'm pretty minimalistic when it comes to my brows because I've always felt like they are pretty full as is. I'm actually really liking this trend of doing the least with your brows. I think that's really in my best interest, so thank you for doing that for me. So what I do is I take a spoolie and I kind of just swish it around. So in this area, I kind of want them to move up and a little bit slanted, and then down here is where I kind of I really like that point. And the nice thing is because it's brown, it does help fill them in a little bit as well. For my lashes, I'm using the Big Mood mascara. The wand is a little bit big. It reminds me very much of the Better Than Sex wand from Too Faced, or even the Lash Paradise, which I did like, but L'Oreal is not cruelty free, so I cannot purchase that one anymore. But this is my first time trying this mascara. Okay, so this is one layer of the mascara. How am I supposed to do this? I don't know if this is helpful at all. There's a huge difference. I love how this mascara makes my eyelashes look. They are separated and I definitely see the length right off the bat. So I'm very excited. The one test I need to check eventually if this smudges on my lower lash line. All right, next we have the lips. I'm using it was the collaboration with Jen Atkin. This is in the shade Self-Made Pink, and what I really like about this one, it has two ends. One is the lip liner and then the other side, hold on, I don't even know if they're matching exactly. So this side is the lip liner side and then this is the inside. Oh, are they different? Hold on. the lip liner a smidge darker and has almost like a, oh god. Describing undertone differentiations is just horrible to me. So hopefully you can see with the magic of sight that these look a little bit different. This side, the lip liner looks a little bit darker, which isn't a bad thing. I think they are quite complementary towards each other. I didn't know that was gonna happen. I'm just gonna use this the way it's intended, and I'm just gonna shut up. This feels really nice, super comfortable, and I really like the shade color too. This is definitely a win for me. Lastly, I'm gonna set my makeup. I'm using the Stay All Night Micro Fist Setting Mist. Did I say Micro Fist? I meant Microfine. It has this little ball at the bottom to shake it up, which I've never had before. At least I don't recall ever having a setting spray do that. But I have tried this before, and I just have to say, the mist really is what they say. It is microfine. Do you see that? It is just like spa in a bottle. Oh, really appreciate that it doesn't just do that like situation on you and just ruin your makeup. And the smell is actually pretty nice too. I think what I'm smelling, I think it's cucumber is what I'm smelling. And this is the completed look. I would say overall, lots of hits. I think the only things is the foundation, because I said I tried it before and it wasn't really good for my skin. But I think I need to try it again now that my skin's a little bit better, because I think it looks really good right now. And the only other thing that I tried that was new that is still TBD is the mascara, because I still need to test if that will smudge on me. But everything else I've either tried before or I'm trying for the first time. So I'm definitely really happy with the products, and I'm really happy with the way this whole look came out. But that is it. I hope that this was helpful, insightful, or at least entertaining. And if it was, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and feel free to comment down below what other types of videos you'd like to see from me. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I would love to see you come back. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.